introduction, I would like to first thank you for attending this simulation of Shark Tank, and I would like to also thank our videographers from the documentary film class and Lily Gates who have sacrificed their own time to come record this event. And before we begin, I would also like to recognize our teams for today and their topics of discussion, and then I will review today's itinerary for the proceedings. The teams we'll be pitching to our sharks are Woke, with the topic of the radicalization of youth by terrorists, Pac-Man, with the topic of reduction of police discrimination and brutality, Symbiosis, with the topic of the restoration of jobs to economically depressed towns, and 4, the Protector Defenders, with the topic of eliminating sexual assault in the military. Before I continue with today's itinerary, I would also like to introduce our sharks, who will be the pitchees, if you will, for today's simulation. So without further ado, I introduce Benjamin Kindberg, Crystal Sims, Caroline Kassir, and me, Christopher Rossi. And I would also like to give a special introduction to our professor, Dr. Tae Kyung Tan. Each team has been allowed 10 minutes preparation time preceding the simulation, and therefore no further prep time will be allowed. Each team will be allotted 5 minutes to present their case, which will be followed by a 5 to 10 minute questioning time moderated by the sharks. The sharks will then engage in a 10-minute conference time where they will be allowed to decide how much money to allot to each solution proposal. To clarify, each shark has $1 million each to be distributed however they please. This means that it is possible for one or more groups to receive no funding for the solution whatsoever. Following the distribution, the sharks will grant 5 awards among the teams. The awards are as follows: 1, most creative solution; 2, most audacious proposal; 3, most impressive presentation; 4, most innovative idea; and 5, most prestigious public value creation. After all the money and awards have been distributed, we will conclude the simulation. Thank you for your time, and let's begin.
Chris, would you like to get by with me first?
Oh, yes. So, Woke, you have the floor.
So, we're Team Woke. I'm Rishi. This is June, Connor, Ria, and Susie. And today we'll be discussing how to prevent the radicalization of our youth by terrorist organizations. So first, we want to discuss the problem, which is Islamophobia, which targets, obviously, people who follow the religion of Islam, and they feel as if they can't find themselves and can't practice the religion in peace because they'll feel attacked and feel as if they're not one of, us. Then ideas and opinions by youth need to be heard. Lots of people feel as if their opinions and ideas aren't heard and expressed, and as if they're too young to be listened to, or as the problems that face our country don't involve them. And so they feel as if they're not welcomed and their only solution is to turn to terrorism. We have social media, which is an increasingly large platform for terrorists to radicalize our youth, because most of the teens nowadays spend hours and hours on social media and they don't know what they'll find. And maybe they'll find a message by terrorist organizations that attract to them and appeal to them. And then we have terrorists are creating a facade to recruit individuals who are unaware of what the holy war really is. They don't know, well maybe they do know going into that they will be killing people, but they don't understand that the toll it takes on the human mind, the human body, to take the lives of another individual. And we just need to make sure that they know what they're getting into if they decide to go down that route.
So what is our solution to these various problems? So our objective is to combat these root causes, which can be found in political fragmentation, socioeconomic disparity, and all kinds of corruption. So we can find these kinds of youth and educate them in certain hotspots such as Kosovo, Libya, France, where radicalization rates can go up to as 3 and 4. So in order to address these skewed psyches and interpretations concerning jihad, we'd like to hold religious rehabilitation groups, employment opportunities in public infrastructure, and custom-tailored mentor-family social networks so that these individuals and these children especially, as we educate them about what true jihad is and what that means in their religion, they'll follow what scholars believe to be true Islam and follow a peaceful path.
So our second proposition is targeting social media, which I said before is a large platform for radicalization. So there are already many social media sites such as Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram that are using softwares to target radical posts that may be used to radicalize youth. And I know all of you remember the Orlando terrorist attack on the nightclub, correct? Well, a few days before that attack, the man who went through with the plan, he said a few days before that there will be an attack on the U.S. by the Islamic State in a few days. And I believe that if we had acted upon that statement and maybe used that as reasonable evidence to alert the police and maybe search their home, that we could have prevented the attack and saved dozens of lives. So we want to introduce a software that identifies malignant and far-right users and posts on various social media sites that will allow us to search and take down radicalized posts that may be used to turn individuals onto the wrong side of the war. And we'll market our software to the social media organizations and hope that they will purchase it and use it to improve their already software that has been in place. Our software will improve their already in place software by 30% and will make it faster than it already is. In fact, it will be able to take down posts quicker than they are already there.
So our proposal is that we're looking for $500,000 to fund the youth group and another $500,000 for the software, which comes to a total of $1 million. As Sharks, you'll receive 15% equity and the satisfaction of knowing your lives will be safer from our specialized program.
$1 million.
That's the software.
And any questions or comments?
Shakti, you have the floor, please.
Okay, well, I have a question. So for your proposal, you said 15, we would each get 15 if we give our amount of money, right? So if we each give 500,000, that means we would own 60% of your company.
I also.
I was just wondering with your software, how would and who would be determining what is considered extremist radical material? Because I'm worried that people might be upset or feel like their privacy is being invaded or their free speech is being compromised.
So there's already, like I said, there's already a software in place that takes down radical posts, and those posts will be such as beheading videos or sponsorship videos, or saying join the Islamic State, things like that we don't hear about because they've already been taken down so quickly. YouTube's program it takes it down, but the time span that it takes is 4 to 5 hours between it being uploaded to it being taken down. So we will be working with the social media organizations and the groups I've already been working with to determine what we need to take down and how quickly we can take them down. And if it is legal to take it down, so it won't intrude on anybody's constitutional rights of free speech.
And you also said that it will improve the current software in place. How is it better than the software already in use? I know you said it's 30% faster, but what besides that makes it better and worthwhile?
Because we already discussed, like you said, it takes about a 4 to 5 hour span. We'd like to shorten that with a more efficient coding throughout the software, so it cuts down the lag time throughout taking that extremist information down.
And the software is already created?
Yes, we've tested with Facebook, and that's how we got the 30% increase. We ran a beta with Facebook, and they approved.
Also, June, I believe you said 3 and 4 radicalization rates are 3 and 4. What does that mean?
Every 3 and 4 adults can be radicalized in certain countries such as Kosovo, which is a very disputed territory under Serbia.
How much would the software cost?
Well, the software costs about $300,000 to maintain and keep efficient. So we're asking for $500,000 to be able to continuously produce the software and use it to distribute among the social media companies.
$300,000 each year?
if it's 300,000 each year, and you said you want 200,000 to maintain it, total of 5,000, how will you make revenue and profit to continue using it?
Well, with that 200,000, we'll be using it to maintain it, but with the 200,000, we'll also be using it to give back to the people who gave it to us. So say out of that 200,000 that we make, so 300,000 used to introduce the software and keep it like upgraded. We'll use that 200,000 to maintain it and give back profits that we have made.
So for continual use of this software, how will you get revenue to continue it over the years? Is this a nonprofit kind of charity thing where it's all donations and loans from banks, or will you have a revenue in fundraisings?
We'll probably have a lot of fundraising because it is such a social issue. So it would be funded by probably fundraisers.
And you, sorry, go ahead.
On your education plan, there was a program by the FBI called Don't Be a Puppet that encountered some controversy because people feared, in educating people about Islamic extremism, they were promoting Islamophobia and further alienating Muslim students and, in a way, pushing them more towards radicalization. How would you all make sure your program didn't do that?
This project we have, it's based on a model that was enacted by a Singaporean government in 2002. So what they did is that they created these custom tailored courses for individual students and youth because radicalization is different for everybody. So as long as you don't target a certain ethnic group, regardless if you're Christian, Muslim, or any kind of religion, as long as we educate these youth and reach out so that they can reach out to each other and learn about different religions, and these are people of the book, regardless of Judaism, right? So if these Muslims learn about the people of the book and how they can live in harmony, the peaceful path may be better for them.
I have a question. As we have a new administration in the White House, and as laws concerning net neutrality are being rolled back or questioned, and we have institutions in place with the national securities, the NSA, like PRISM, which uses platforms like Google and Bing and other engines to find potentially radical content and send these messages directly to the government where they can be taken care of. How do we know that there's going to be a market for this kind of software when, if I'm, say, like Mark Zuckerberg, and I'm like, I can just get a contract through PRISM or the NSA?
Well, PRISM was obviously released by Edward Snowden, and that's how everybody found out about it. And it was greatly criticized because it was spying on individual people through their cell phones, through their laptops. Everything that they had that they owned was being able to spy on. So what we propose is when we work with the social media organizations, everybody knows that social media is a massive platform for terrorists. And the reason we differ from PRISM, which will be more socially acceptable, is because we're not spying on you without your consent. When you join social media, you know that you're going to see some things that you may not like. And we're trying to make an experience on social media that appeals to everyone, instead of you going on social media and seeing a beheading.
I'd like to ask the last question because we're coming to the time boundary. This book is very innovative and interesting. In order to reach the right target audience, you need to know multiple languages in different settings, Bahasa Indonesia, the Kyrgyz language. Yeah, what makes you think you have the capacity to operate in multiple global languages and be as fast as the terrorist organizations in adapting their strategies? Can you give us assurance you're able to do that?
And this is exactly why we ask for your finances, because not only should we maintain this kind of software, we would like to expand, like you said, in certain languages, like our religious rehabilitation groups. We would like to hire Islamic scholars, right? And then we'd like to hire scholars in Libya and all over the world so that we can finally code our language into our program, correct?
Any last questions for the shop, please?
I do. So you said for the back of the software, you said that you weren't partnered with the social medias yet, that you were going to pitch to them?
No, we partnered with Facebook, and now we're going to pitch to the other social media companies because they've seen that it's working.
Okay, if for some reason you don't get them to join you? How would you get just used through Facebook? How do you think that would improve over time? And do you think that if just through Facebook would it reach the amount of audience that you wanted to?
Well, there currently are 1.9 billion users on Facebook alone. So if we could only, happens that we only work with Facebook, with your funding, we'll be able to continuously excel our program through the years. And the other social media organizations will see that it's working so well with Facebook that we'll hope that they'll join in as well.
Well, thank you, team.
Thank
Thank you
you.
for your time. It's wonderful.